KUNC and the NPR network, this is In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Have any of your New Year's resolutions included to live a happier life this year? If you said yes, one recent study suggests you're probably not alone. Americans reported feeling less happy than in previous years, according to the recent World Happiness Report. That's a study that collects data on happiness from countries around the world every year. The U.S. finished 23rd, behind countries like Kuwait and Slovenia. So we wanted to find some expert advice on how to be happy in 2025. Luckily, the University of Colorado has its own happiness expert. Dr. Gruber is Associate Professor of Psychology and Neuroscience at CU Boulder, and she teaches a class on happiness, so we reached out to her. June told me her best advice on how to be happier starts with shifting your perspective a little.
I think some of the three kind of main takeaways are, one, to appreciate that happiness isn't one single thing, that there's different ways to pursue happiness and be happy. Second, that happiness is not about yourself. It's not a self-focused pursuit or a thing you should be doing alone or a thing you should be thinking about achieving just for you. It's about your connection with and to other people. I think the last really important piece about happiness is that it doesn't have to be some mysterious, big, confusing pursuit. There's actually some pretty simple evidence-based hacks or advice that you can build into your daily life.
And I'd love to hear more about those hacks. Do you have concrete steps that you recommend for more happiness, like reading more books, for example?
Absolutely. And we try some of these evidence-based hacks in the course on happiness that I teach. One of them is to keep a daily gratitude journal. This can be something you spend even 1 or 2 minutes at the end of each day, writing a couple or 3 things that you remember feeling appreciative of that day. They don't have to be big things. They can simply be a nice comment someone made to you on a conversation. It could be the way the sun was rising in the sky. It can be maybe even the first sip of coffee you took that morning. So keeping a daily gratitude journal and not spending a lot of time on it. The second thing we find, and this is really relevant to those of us here in Colorado, is getting out in nature. The more you can just get out and spend time in green space, we see some really robust effects on well-being. It doesn't have to be going out into the Rocky Mountains. This can even just be a local urban park, just connecting with nature. The third thing is to do things that connect you to other people. So spending time with friends, with family, even making a phone call to someone you haven't seen or talked to in a while, but just trying to connect and communicate with other people. Even a quick text, even a quick phone call, but making sure you're not staying alone. I think connecting with others is probably the biggest predictor of our happiness because as human beings, we are a social species, right? Our ancestors evolved in social groups. We weren't sort of wired to live independently. And so we need to remember who we are as human beings, and that part of who we are for our survival and our well-being is being around and interacting with other people.
You've talked about seeing an increase in anxiety and distress among your students. How do you advise those students on happiness when you know that so many of them may really be struggling?
A couple of the strategies that I really emphasize, both as their instructor and also as a clinical psychologist, is that, first of all, you can both find support for mental health challenges and try these happiness strategies in parallel. One doesn't replace the other. So importantly, I offer resources and referrals for the pressing mental health concerns we are seeing growing among the young adults in our country and in Colorado. And second, I say while you're doing that, you may also benefit from learning about what promotes your own well-being, what are the things that bring you joy in day-to-day life, and even how to cultivate a sense of awe or wonder, which is a growing and really exciting area in the science of well-being.
let's say I had a really rough 2024. Maybe the political environment took a toll on me, or maybe I lost a loved one, maybe all of those things. And I just want to feel happier in 2025. What should I focus on in the new year?
I think it's absolutely important that we want to set well-being goals. We want to strive towards a better version of ourselves and a version of ourselves that may feel more emotionally stable and balanced. I think what we need to be mindful of is to set goals and priorities that bring us meaning and that bring us purpose. And second, to make sure that in setting those goals, we're not trying to push away or avoid or suppress negative feelings when they do come up, that those are also a natural part of the human experience. And so while we may be seeking joy or wonder or connection, we also are going to find other emotions along the way as part of the normal daily journey of human emotions. And that making sure we're accepting and understanding a diverse range of emotions is also going to be part of that story or part of that path towards well-being.
It sounds like we can achieve more happiness, not by seeking happiness per se, but by finding things that give us purpose and meaning.
Absolutely. Finding purpose, finding meaning, those are really wonderful pathways towards well-being that transcend beyond simply daily pleasures or daily distresses.
You mentioned cultivating a sense of wonder. How do you cultivate wonder in your life?
I love this area. We call it the science of awe, AWE, or wonder.
Okay.
And what we know about awe and wonder is that it's a sense of being in the presence of something bigger than yourself, having a sense of the kind of vastness of the world we live in. So this can be achieved by taking a walk out in nature, but it can also be achieved by being in the presence of people that you admire, people who are larger than life. We can also get this sense of vastness in large cities. The kind of underlying idea with wonder and awe is that you get outside of yourself, you opened your mindset to appreciating the vast space we live in, and also realizing that we are but a small part of it, but in a way that helps us feel a sense of meaning and purpose in something bigger than ourselves.
I feel like a lot of us were trying to get a glimpse of the aurora borealis or the meteor shower for that very reason. It just gives you that sense of awe.
Absolutely. I think we see human beings as wonder seekers, right? We're getting out there and trying to find our place in the world and be in the presence of something vast, something exciting and bigger than this moment in time and who we are in it.
Psychologist June Gruber teaches a happiness class at the University of Colorado Boulder. And I want to mention one final tip she told to us as you seek out more awe and wonder in 2025. June says, don't stress out if you don't feel happy all the time. She says worrying about how happy you feel and trying to push away negative emotions can actually contribute to feelings of unhappiness. That's it for us today on In The NoCo. I'm Erin O'Toole. Thank you so much for listening.